Tonight, grown adults acting like children and sharing personal and oftentimes inappropriate content on social media.
It's time to stop!
What is causing this behavior?
Your behavior is completely inappropriate.
And how can you keep your information safe?
I want everything about my house off the internet!
All of this and more, just ahead on Rescind,
No!
Discretion, and the Internet.
No! No!
Every 60 seconds, 350,000 new tweets and over 500,000 new Facebook comments go live. Technology's audience grows ever wider and younger.
A child learns by the feedback loop. If they say something, they're looking to you for feedback. So they're going to look at the look on your face. Are you shocked? Are you, okay? How are you going to, how you respond to it?
I'm going to scissor kick you in the back of the head.
What is wrong with you?
And so they own the language. But if they don't have a high level of interactive communication with a real human being, they don't know what the interactive process is. When they're interacting with a flat device that doesn't give feedback, that child can't learn whether or not that's an appropriate statement, functional, or anything else.
Everybody my age pees their pants. It's the coolest.
However, what the little device does is it does give another kind of feedback. So if you are doing a game and if you've passed a level or you put the letter in the right place, it gives you feedback immediately. So the child then becomes hardwired for the immediacy of feedback. And when they don't get that immediacy, they're angry, they're frustrated. A lot of times they'll pitch tantrums, they'll throw things, and do behaviors that are inappropriate. They're doing some, neurological studies, and a child is hardwired to that immediate feedback, and they become addicted to that. So here's this child, and they're hooked on it. It goes back to that need to be heard. And so many times they will start, they will get embroiled in some kind of a drama online. And they will keep sharing even after having been, gotten in trouble for doing it. They still get hooked into the drama because, again, there's that need to be heard, validated, or vindicated. And I want you to think about that. Heard, validated, or vindicated. And that's what literally will trigger so many people to do some really inappropriate things because they don't have the checks and balances in place.
Without these checks and balances, the child soon moves to adulthood, where we must guard not only our dignity, but also our livelihood. This man believed he was making a private video for Shigeru Miyamoto, but instead of doing business with the famous Nintendo game designer, he was leaking his contact information to anyone with Wi-Fi.
My name is Christian, Rocketsville, Virginia, 14 zip code 22968, and my home phone number is 434-9906. My cell phone being 760.
But why not just take it down?
When you do this online, once it's out there, it's out there. It's permanently out there. Even if you think it's private, it's not. There are very few secure ways to communicate these days. If you don't believe it, look at all of the political leaks that we have going on and all of the uproar about that.
And if you're on social media, you may want to take a second look at what's already on your profile.
I was sitting on an interview panel, and this very nicely groomed, very impeccable, credentialed young man was sitting there giving us all of the right words and the right nuances and the right everything else. Well, one of our younger members on the interview panel was sitting there with his personal media device and looked up the person's page. And he had posted some really extremely inappropriate information on his personal page. I do know that many colleges now, when they get an application in, they do an online search about your presence, and more employers are looking at online profiles in the various social media pages because they give a lot of information. Because what you do, your online presence, whether you recognize it or not, is either who you are or who you aspire to have people believe you are. Either way, you're telling what your values are and what you believe in as you post that online. If you wouldn't want it as a newspaper headline,
This has happened to me!
post it on a bulletin board where you work, or if you go to church in your church bulletin. That's a pretty good check and balance as to what you're going to put out there. If it's something you're passionate about and you're willing to accept the consequences of putting it out there, recognize that there are consequences for that. So if you have a passionate belief, know that it is not a private belief once it hits that send button.
Knowing that anyone in the world could potentially see what you post could make the difference and save you a world of hurt.